Hey YouTube, Creative252 here, going to bring you a DN profile. I'm going to bring you this new archetype called Atlanteans. They're going to be released in the new structure deck. They have quite good synergy with mermails, and I'm going to explore this. This is basically my first draft. Me and my friend have been working on it for a couple of weeks. Obviously, there are a lot of changes that will probably need to be made to this deck. It's not perfect by any means. Obviously, I'm missing a side deck as well. But I'll fly you through the stuff, and I'll explain stuff that could be altered, stuff that you could put your own personal twist on. This is the build that I've used. It's not great. It's definitely not my final cut, but I will try and sorry about the snowman. I'll try and explore some different possibilities. So to start off with, I'll put these up here. We start off with the Gen X engine. Now you could run triple Undine. I prefer double. But I guess triple would work better, but I just kind of like the space. So double Undine, this basically, you can read it, when it's normal summon, send a water from your deck to graveyard, add a generic controller from your deck to your hand, so basically you get to use Armsman, Marksman, Seahorseman, you get to use all their effects, and they basically are like mini Graphers and mini like Strauses and stuff. So that's pretty cool. There's a mermail card later on that does just about the same thing. I'm running two Gen X controllers because you need Gen X controller for Undine to go off. Yeah. Unfortunately, they can be a bit dead, but you can use them for stuff like Gungnir, Bryanak, their effects, and Megalabyss, which I'll talk about later. Some people seem to shy away from this card. I'll explain why. Triple Armsman, probably the best Atlantean. When he's while this card's face up on the field, once per turn, you can normal summon a level 4 lower Sea Serpent in addition to your normal summon on set. This card's basically similar to that Karakuri Komachi, I think, the 1/9 defense card. It's very similar to her in the sense that she's got a big defense, so is he, with low attack. So you get the idea. Also, when it's sent to the graveyard to activate a water monster's effect, like Undine or one of the mermails you'll see later, target one card, one face-up card your opponent controls, and destroy it. He has his counterpart, which basically says target one set card. So between them, they can pop just about every card on the field, which is nice. So they're mini graphers. So I'll move on to this guy. Basically, when he inflicts battle damage, you can special summon something, special summon a level 4 or lower Sea Serpent from your deck, except Marksman. So he has, along with him, has got swarming capabilities, which is really nice. And combined with the next card I'll show you, makes him even better. When this card is sent, you got that. So when you use water effects, it targets a set card. Triple Seahorseman. He is the heart of the deck. In terms of consistency, he allows level 3 or lower Sea Serpent monsters you control to attack directly. This means that Marksman's going to get his effect off really quickly, that special summons more level 4 or lower stuff. You could also run a card called Atlantean Appointment. I spelled that wrong. There we go. Oh, Jesus. Sorry. There we go. Atlantean Appointment, who basically has a big attack when there's another Aquafish or Sea Serpent. I personally don't run him, but you could run him. I'll get some other cards up in a minute. I'll talk about some other cards. So triple Seahorseman. He also, when he's sent by a water monster's effect, you can add a Sea Serpent type from your deck, except Seahorseman. So he also has searching capabilities when ditched with Undine or the Mermail. 3 Diva, obviously, Diva plays are incredible. Diva is basically a level 2 tour guide. You can summon Armsman, get Armsman's effect, and swarm even more. You can summon another Diva, so you can go Diva, Armsman, Diva, something else. Great swarming capabilities. So 3 Divas, obvious. Then we move on to the mermail stuff. This is where you can mix and mash the monster count. I run 2 Abyssalind. This is slightly inconsistent, but it gets out the big monster in the deck. I don't like Poseidra. I'll find. Damn it! How do I spell this? There we. Oh Jesus! I'll look it up later. Whatever. Well, maybe this is it. Yeah, there we go. There. So I don't like this card. You can see what it does there. I just find this really hard to summon, really consistent. It could be useful, I guess, but there are better cards out there, and one of the better cards is the big mermail monster I'll talk about in a minute. So 2 Abyssalind, this is basically Mystic Tomato to get out this big card. 2 Abyss Pike, this is basically Swap Frog for waters in general. as opposed to Swat Frog. I guess Swat Frog for fish has got better capability. I guess you could tech an Abyss Pike in frogs if you wanted to. Swat Frog has the bouncing ability, but this has a bigger ass, and you can get water monsters effects off it, and it'll work with sea serpents, even though it's a fish. So yeah, when this card's normal summon, special summon, you can discard water, so you get all the Atlantean effects. Add a level 3 water from your deck to your hand, which is nice. You get to search like this, or like this, or this. But basically you run it kind of for the searching, but more so for the ditching. It's like Undine, but slightly better, if you get what I mean. That's why I'm a bit on Undine, but I think this is still a good card. Sorry, Undine's still a good card, but I think this could have the edge. It's still a good card. This plus Sea Horseman basically gets you a double search. You can search an Abyssal Ind and a Diva if you wanted to. I think that's right. Yep. And then this guy, Megalobyss. This is our big beat stick as opposed to Poseidra. Poseidra's artwork is awesome, but I think that Megalobyss is better. Basically, you can discard 2 other waters to special summon this card from your hand, so you get off all the water monster effects, like Armsman and Marksman. And then when this card is special summoned by this effect, you can add this equip card. I'll talk about that in a sec. That's got its own unique kinks to it. You contribute 1 phase of attack position water monster you control, except this card, and it can attack twice in the battle phase. This boosts his attack amongst other things, so you can have it boosted by 400, so you can have a 2/8 beat stick that can attack twice, that was summoned using other cards which also got their effects. So potentially you could pop 2 cards on the field, get a 2/8 monster out on the field that is equipped with this. This has its own kinks. I'll talk about that in a minute. Kick, sorry. What the hell am I talking about? And basically it can attack twice, so it's a big beat stick. I guess it's slightly inconsistent, but I like this. Some people choose not to run this. I guess most people choose not to run this, but I really love the artwork. I want the deck to be fun. We'll see what other people come up with, because this could turn out to be a really good card. It could turn out to be really inconsistent. We'll just have to see how playtesting amongst the meta goes, I guess. So that's 2 Megalobyss. He also has his XE counterpart. I'll talk about that in a sec. 1 Dark Hole, obvious. Allure of Darkness, get rid of the Gen X controls that sat in your hand for draw power. Heavy Storm. This Kraken, basically you can equip it to a mermail monster against 400 attack. And also, when a monster your opponent controls activates an effect monster's effect, negate the effect, then send this card to the graveyard. So first of all, it's an effect veiler, which can increase by 400. It's not as quick as some other monster negating stuff like Dolka, but also it's not a cost to send, so if they negate this shit, I don't know, that's probably irrelevant. Anyway, 2 Forbidden Lance. I just like Lance in a lot of stuff, as my friends may know. I just like Lance in general. It just saves your monsters. 1 Monster Reborn, obvious. 2 Pot of Duality for a bit of consistency. 1 Pot of Avarice, seeing as though we're talking about pots. 1 Pot of Avarice, you end up with quite a few waters in your graveyard. You want to try and get them back in the deck and then to the hand again. That's why we're running 3 Salvage, because Salvage is basically a +1 for the deck. You add 2 waters to your hand, and you want to reuse their water effects, so Salvage is a really good card at 3. And then the trap lineup, this is where you can mix and match it. I like Fiendish Chain because we're not running any Veilers. We might side deck Veilers potentially, but Fiendish Chain along with Juloran is quite a cool combo that I found. It's not really a combo, it's just like a little sort of locky type thing where you can keep bouncing chains once you've dealt with big monsters, because obviously Chain tends to hang around quite a lot. 2 Warnings, I mean, you can put in compulsories, torrentials, bottomless, whatever. You can mix this around. You can have obviously more than 40 cards in your deck. One other cool card that's going to be released in Abyss Rising is this card called Bubble Bringer. Now, if you're going to run a Bubble Bringer, I wouldn't suggest running Mermail Megalobyss, because basically you read a level 4 higher monsters cannot attack opponent directly, cannot attack a player directly. So neither of you can use level 4 or higher, so that kind of counts out your Sea Horsemans, your Abyss Pikes, and your Megalobysses. So if you're going to run this, you might want to cut those down potentially. But mostly it's used a bit like Infinity Launcher in the fact that you can summon 2 level 3 or lower, sorry, 2 level 3 or lower waters with the same name for your graveyard, special summon them, but their effects are negated, so it just provides a little XE power. My friend is testing out this card in the build. I personally don't think it has as much potential as other cards. So yeah, I'm running 2 chains. I like chains with Juloran and 2 warnings because it's pretty standard. I mean, you can chuck in anything in there. It's really up to you. Side deck would be pretty general. I guess I could go into that if you want me to. extra deck. 2 catasters because we use Diva a lot, and Cataster is probably the best 5. You could put in others, but I just like them. Bryanak, obvious. Bryanak, Black Rose, Scrap Dragon, Jaloran and Gungnir. Gungnir proves quite useful, but there are better 7s out there. It's just the fact that you can, because sometimes Bryanak is inaccessible because you need a 2 and a 4. The only tuners in the deck are Genetics Controller, which you're not going to generally be summoning, and I think Deep Sea Diva. And so obviously Deep Sea Diva, you need her and a 4 to go into Bryanak. I think that's the only way. And generally your level 4s aren't going to be hanging around for that long. So Bryanak's quite hard to get out. So Gungnir I made as a sort of replacement. I've put him in there. Jaloran obviously is a 6. He's quite hard to go into, like I explained just then. But you can bounce back chains. That's quite a cool thing. You can also bounce back other stuff like divas if you wanted to, or anything, or megalobisses or abyss pikes or whatever. I just like the bouncing aspect. And then some Exceeds, 2 Gachis because we're using divas. One of this, I'm just seeing how this goes. Basically, the only way you're going to summon this is overlaying 2 of these, or this and a Gungnir. So it's hard to go into, but I guess it's you can read it for yourself. While this guy's face up on, while this card has any XP material, level 5 or higher monsters can't attack, so it's similar to Bubble Bringer, I guess. Once per turn, during either player's turn, you can detach one XP material from this card, negate the effects of all monsters you put controls, whose attack is lower than this card's attack. So it's kind of not useful. I think there are probably better rank 7s in the game. But I chucked him in there because I thought, hey, why the hell not? 2 Leviathan Dragons, basically it's a water, what can I say? Being water has its slight advantages sometimes, particularly with what you're going to side deck. Utopia, standard. 1 Dark Mist. You can chuck in other level 2s. Other rank 2s like Shining Elf or that Phoenix, the Diagusto Phoenix, I think. Or, yeah, that's about it. So you can mix and match those in. But I just find these, maybe Shining Elf would be quite good, and Zemains as well. So thanks for watching. Please leave your feedback and comments and what you think should be changed. Give you reasons. I'd love to hear from you. I love testing with this deck. I think this deck is really fun. Also, if you have any of these, go and check out my binder. I'd be more than willing to train them off you. So thanks for watching YouTube, and I'll see you next time.